Hey guys, welcome back everybody. Anybody has a questions regarding the yesterday class? The private VLAN VACL protected port? Anyone? Nobody has a questions? Perfect, well then.
No,
So guys, what we have discussed till now, we have discussed like if you see within the VLAN, right? Whatever the users are present, they can communicate to each other, right? That's a default behavior. Between the VLAN, no users can communicate. Between the VLAN, no users can communicate. It means that, understand this concept. Take example, I have a switch one, right? And this switch one has a connectivity with some user. So we have a user number one. We have a user number two. Let me do one thing. I'll just copy and paste it. User number one, user number two. Come on. Copy and paste. User two I have. User three, right? I have a user number four as well, right? And that's fine. Okay. And take example, if I'm going to put this guy into the one VLAN, I'll say that, okay, this guy should be in the VLAN number 10, or this guy should be in the VLAN number 20 now, right? So we have two different VLAN. I can say the VLAN number 10, and this guy's a VLAN number 20. So VLAN is basically, it's a logical broadcast domain. So VLAN, if you see the purpose of the VLAN, the major goal of the VLAN, it provide logical broadcast domain. It's a logical, not the physical. Again, I'm repeating. It's a logical, not the
तुम
physical.
पढ़ाई करने वाले थे?
Okay, so it's provide the logical broadcast domain, and each logical broadcast domain has some identifier, and that identifier is known as a VLAN ID. Each broadcast domain, each logical broadcast domain has some identifier, right? And that identifier is known as a VLAN ID. So VLAN ID always in the integer number, right? If you want to define the name of that particular VLAN after configuring the VLAN, you can define it. But initially, it has to be the integer number. So we have a 12-bit of number, right? In the 12-bit, you can define it from 1 to 4094, right? You can define the VLAN number 1 is reserved for the default VLAN. So if even if you don't have a like a what we call any VLAN over on the switch side, by default the VLAN 1 will be there, and all the ports are by default associated with the VLAN number 1. So take example, we have this interface, our 0/2 as well, 0/3 and 0/4, right? So this is the 0/0, sorry, 0/1. I'll make this guy the 0/2. This guy should be 0/3 and 0/4. So if you see the database table of the switch one, or we guess the VLAN database table, if I'm talking about. So in the VLAN database table, what you will find that, so VLAN number 10 you will have, in the VLAN number 10, you will have a 0/1 and 0/2. If you see the VLAN number 20 database table, you have a 0/3 and you have a 0/4 now. So two database table we have, right? At the same time, each VLAN have a separate MAC address table as well. So we have a PC number 1, we have a PC number 2, we have a PC number 3, we have a PC number 4, and we have a MAC IP addresses is what? It's a 1.1.1.1, its IP address is 1.1.2, right? This IP address is 1.1.3. That's for the PC3, and that's for IP for the PC4 is a 1.4. So normally what happened, try to understand, if the PC1 wants to send any traffic to the PC2, they can send the traffic to the PC2. If the PC3 want to send any traffic to the PC4, they can send the traffic to the PC4. But if I talk about, right, because this is the first thing is happening, right? Within the VLAN, whatever the users are present, they can communicate to each other. But what happened if I'm going to provide the communication between the PC2 to PC3? Is it possible? By default, it's not possible. By default, it's not possible to provide the communication between the two different VLAN. The reason is that they are in the different broadcast domain. So this is the one broadcast domain and we have a different broadcast domain. So if you want to provide the communication, right? If you want to provide the communication between the two different broadcast domain, what devices we need? We need a layer 3 device. A layer 3 device could be anything. Either it could be the router, right? Or either it could be the switch as well. The switch could be the layer 3 as well as the layer 2, right? The switch could be the layer 3 and layer 2 as well as. So if you want to provide the communication between the two different VLAN, then we need a help of layer 3 device. And the layer 3 device could be the router and the layer 3 switch as well. Now the question is that why? Why do I need to provide the communication between the two different VLAN? The reason is that understand this concept. This is the one department that's called as a, IT department, right? And this is the one department is called the management department. So we have a two different department, right? In this two different department, we have a different engineers are there, different managers are there. So take example, this is the engineer, right? And this is the manager. Same way in our management department, we have a manager over there, but this is the engineer. So normally what happened, right? I don't want to provide the communication between the engineer to engineer. I only going to provide the communication between the managers to managers. Not forget the managers right now. Let's me do one thing. Let's try IT and management. I'll take example of, take example. We have a one tag team. Okay. Normally in the tag team, what happened? Any tag team, either you can go with the Juniper tag, Cisco tag, Palo Alto tags, any tag team, doesn't matter. In the tag team, normally what happened, right? In the tag team, normally what happened? We have a, right? This tag team is belong to the, for example, service provider. Take example, right? That's only going to handle the special customer, right? That's only going to handle the special customer, the dedicated customer. This is the SP tag, service provider tag for the normal customer, right? Normal tag. So sometimes what happened, try to understand, sometimes what happened, you have to provide the communication between these two guys. The reason is that I'll tell you, sometimes what happened, there is a mini loads, right? There is a mini load on the service provider tag. There's a mini load in the service provider normal customer tag. And the loads are very less in the special customer service provider tag. So what you have to do, you need to communicate with this engineer. So this engineer can say, hey, I have a lots of load right now. Can you come with me and help me with some cases? Same thing, this engineer can also communicate with this guy. So in this kind of communication, right, you have to achieve, because right now in the different VLAN, right, which is not possible by default. But in some scenario, in the production network, what happened, you need to provide the communication between the two different VLAN. One of the situation is here right now. I need to provide the communication between the two different department. So if you want to provide the communication between the two different broadcast domain, we need a layer 3 device, and that layer 3 device is known as a router or the layer 3 switch. So by default, this communication is not possible. What we have to do that, we need to bring up one device that's called the router. And with the help of this router, we can provide the communication between the two different broadcast domain. So now this interface that we have over there, 0/0, this interface is the access port. This interface will be the access port. This interface will be the access port. And this interface will be access port. This interface will become the trunk port.
Hello,
Why?
sir.
Yes.
Sir, any difference in router and L3 switches?
I'm coming to the point. Hold on, just give me a minute.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So this is the trunk interface we have. This is router number one we have, right? So now try to understand. In that case, what happened? I have a router, right? On this particular interface, right? 0/0 right now. Okay, I need to take a different subnet now, not the same subnet. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll take a 1.0/24 and 2.0/24. /24. 2.0/24 and /24. Okay. So now try to understand, in this case, what happened. Two things are very important over here, guys. When you provide the, right, when you provide communication between two different broadcast domain, right? When you provide the connection between two different broadcast domain, then your PC must have default gateway information. Default gateway is nothing but, if you just compare, it's your room gate, right? So you have a room, right? In a flat, those rooms are there. So if you want to go from one room to the another room, then you need to follow the gate, right? Same thing. If the one PC wants to go to the different network, right? If the one PC wants to go to the different network, they need to know that who is my gateway, right? So if you see on this particular configuration, right, on this particular interface 0/0, on this particular interface, either I can configure the 192.168.1.100. This is the default gateway for this PC, right? Either I can configure this IP address, or either I can configure this IP address 2.100. So on this particular interface, either I can configure this IP address, or either I can configure this IP address, right? Simultaneously, I cannot configure on a single interface. I cannot configure the same IP address. If I'm going to put the command like this way, you can understand this concept. If I say the IP address, hey, 1.100, right? In that case, what happened? This IP will be accepted, right? After that, if I'm going to give this command 2.100, then what happened? This information will be overwrite. This information will be overwrite. So to avoid this problem, what you have to do that? To avoid this problem, what you need to bring up two separate interface now. You need to bring up two separate interface. One interface that's going to represent for the VLAN number 10, or we can say that this subnet, and another interface that we have over here that's going to represent for the this subnet. So this interface I can call it as a 0/1, and same way I'll call as a 0/. I already have all the interfaces allocated. I call as a 1/0. So now this subnet, this interface have a subnet IP address will be what? This guy will be have IP address will be 191.100, and this guy will be 192.162.100. And I can achieve the communication now. There's no issue. There is no extra configuration. That's done. It's done. We just need to put the one interface over there, and that's all. But you know the problem will be what? In this case, the biggest issue in this topology is what? If you have 100 plus VLAN, understand this concept. If you have 100 plus VLAN, then you need to add a 100 plus physical interface on the router. If you have 100 plus VLAN, then you need to add 100 plus. See, if you have a two VLAN, that's fine. That's not an issue. I can put the one cable, I can put another cable, that's fine. And we can provide the connection between the two different VLAN. There's no issue. But take example, if you have 100 plus VLAN, then is it possible that I can put the 100 cables over there? No. This is the older scenario. Older scenario in the sense of what? When the inter-VLAN routing, right? Inter-VLAN routing means what? When you provide the communication between the two different VLAN, right? That's called as the inter-VLAN routing. When you provide the communication between the same VLAN, within the VLAN, that's called as the intra-VLAN. Inter means what? Two different VLAN, right? And inter means what? Sorry, intra means what? Same VLAN. Guys, please be on the time, because I have to adding the, like, I keep adding the peoples over there. So, that's not a good thing. So intra means what? Same VLAN. Inter VLAN is what? Two different VLAN routing. So this was a, see, on the 90s time, it was awesome. Like, I can add it, because on that time, think about it, 90s time, right? Amazon was not there. Flipkart was not there. Facebook was not there, right? Internet was growing. Internet was growing. I'll tell you one thing. Uh, only the 1 million user was present all over the world. Only the 1 million user are present all over the world in the 90s time. Again, this is not, this is like this is the information that I'm telling you according to the some of the the documentation. So on that time, this was the good topology. But nowadays, if I talk about this, nowadays we have multiple VLANs in the LAN network. In that case, this topology is not good. Because in this topology, what happened? We need to pay the lots of money. Because for each cable, right? For each cable, we need to pay the money. At the same time, the router ports, each router post has a, right? Each router post port has a some cost for that one. Routers are basically, its price are very high, right? You cannot get the router in the 10,000 and 20,000. You have to pay the a lakhs of rupees for that one. You have to pay the 10 lakh, 20 lakh, something like that for the routers. So adding the multiple ports on the router side, it's not a good solution. So what we can do that over there, instead of adding a multiple ports, I just have a single port over there now. This single port. And what I can do that over here, I'm gonna split this physical interface, right? I'm gonna split this physical interface into the sub interfaces. You can just correlate with the sub VLAN that we have created yesterday in the private VLAN concept. So I will break this 0/0 into the multiple sub interfaces. I can say that 0/0.10, 0/0.20. You can put the 1, 2, 3 for anything. I'm just putting the 10 according to the VLAN number. I'm just putting the 20 according to the VLAN number. So I just have a single cable, and I'm just going to split this cable into the multiple sub interfaces. Depend on the requirement. If I have 100 VLAN, then I can do that in the 100 one. So I don't need to pay the cost for the 100 interfaces. I just need to pay the cost for the one physical interface. That's all. This is called as a sub interface, and this mechanism is called as a router on a stick. This is the another way to achieve the inter-VLAN routing. So the first way that I've shown you that we have a two interfaces, right? For the two VLAN, if you have three VLANs, three physical interface. If you have a four VLAN, four physical interface. If you have five VLAN, five physical interface. That's not a good solution, right? So it was the older time, but nowadays we have something called as a router on a stick. Why we call it a router on a stick means on a single cable your router is present. On a single cable your router is present, and he can provide the communication between the multiple VLANs. That's a second way to do the inter-VLAN routing. So what we have to do that, we just need to gonna split this physical interface to the sub interfaces. And on this particular sub interfaces, right, we are gonna give the IP address. We are not gonna give the IP address on this physical interface. We are gonna give the IP address on the sub interfaces. So I can say that, hey, this sub interface will be IP address will be 192.168.1.100, and this sub interface IP will be 2.100. So this 2.100 will be default gateway for this guy, default gateway for this guy. This 1.100 default gateway for this guy, and this 1.100 for default gateway for this guy. That's all. Make sure that this interface should be run. So there's no rocket science. What you have learned till now, same thing I'm gonna do that. So let's do this lab. So I can take a 290 route. This route 2901 router 1. And what I can do that, I'll take the switch 2960, and I have some PCs. That's two is enough, right? So I can see the PC number 1, PC number 2, PC number 3, and PC number 4. right? Let's take a cable, automatic cable, I can take it, right? And we have it out of the way. So let's define let me do one thing. Let me add some rectangles so that we can identify which one is the VLAN number 10 and which is VLAN number 20. So this for the VLAN number 10 and this for the VLAN number 20. That's fine, right? So let me get this guy now. And for the IP address for this guy will be 192.168.1.1. This guy will be 192.168.1.2. This guy will be 192.168.2.1. And this guy will be 192.2.2. So we have a VLAN number 10. We have VLAN number 20. Right? So let's give the IP address first of all. So this PC IP configuration, IP addresses 191.168.1.1/24. That's my subnet mask, right? And default gateway we got. I'm just considering it's 1 or 100. I will give the IP address over here, right? So without default, guys, it's a very important one. Without default gateway, you cannot provide the different broadcast communication. Without default gateway, cannot achieve different broadcast communication, or we can say the different subnet communication. So mixed with that, you must have a default gateway. If you don't have, you cannot achieve it. Come on. So let's go and define the PC2 now, IP addresses. 192.168.2.1.2/24. And here we go. Same way the PC3 now. 2.1 and 2.100. Same way the PC4. 191.60 what we call 2.2/24 and 2.254. Sorry, 2.100. That's great. Now what we have to do that? We just need to go to the switch. On a switch, what we just need to get the VLAN, right? Remember, if you don't have a VLAN in your database table, then switch will create the VLAN for you. Enable host name switch 1. I say the interface 0/1 switch port. Okay, quick question to you guys. Is it a mandatory command or a recommendation command? Is it a mandatory command or recommendation command?
So mandatory.
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 It's a mandatory or recommend. So mandatory means what? It should be there, right? Recommendation means what? It's recommended by the you don't use this command, otherwise attack will be happening anyway. It's not a mandatory command, it's a recommendation command. Mandatory means what? It should be there. It should be there. It's a recommendation one. So switch mode access. Because if you're not going to do that, so take example, if I'm not going to use it, then what happens? If I simply say that access VLAN number 10, it's working, right? Even 0/2, it's working. My interface so VLAN brief, if you see, right? If you see, I have both the interfaces in the VLAN number 10. It's not a mandatory, it's a recommendation one. So I say that interface 0/1, okay, switch port mode access. It's a recommendation one. Mandatory means what? Switch port access VLAN number 10 was mandatory. 0/3 now.
Well, questions. I thought in order for any port on the switch to work as a switching medium, it has to be an access port. No, it has to be
You
configured
have
as
to
an
watch the
access.
video again.
Oh, maybe I misunderstood that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, no problem.
Switch port access VLAN number. Have you watched the DTP videos?
I'm not sure.
Yes, sir.
I don't recall.
So please go ahead and watch it. Because see, these are the small things, right? Recommendation, mandatory, right? It's a video will help you when you go for the designing, right? When you're gonna learn the designing, it's very important. Like,
Oh, I know why I didn't watch the video. I just got the access last night, remember?
I
But
saw that.
I'll go ahead and watch. I'll go ahead and watch those videos. Thank
Okay.
you.
So VLAN brief. Now I can see that I have a VLAN 10 and 20. What about this port now? This port has to be trunk, right? So why I have to make this guy as a trunk? Because I have a two VLAN, right? So to carry this VLAN information, to carry this VLAN information, we need to make this as an interface as a trunk. Take example. Okay, another example to you. Switch one and router one. The previous example. Do I need to make a trunk over here? Tell me.
No, sir.
No. This for the VLAN number 10, this for the VLAN number 20. Do I need to make a trunk of this interface?
No, sir. Because switch
No.
to switch, we can switch
We
to
can
switch, we
assign this
can.
interface as a VLAN number 10 and we can assign this interface as a VLAN number 20. That's fine, right? Not mandatory. Now, but in this case, we need to make it because this interface is going to carry all the VLAN traffic. Interface 0/5, switch port mode trunk. Right? Now let's go to the router.
Okay, because it's carrying all the VLAN traffic, so it
Exactly,
has
because
to be
we
by
have two
default
VLANs, right?
VLAN
VLAN
trunk.
10 and 20.
Okay. Otherwise, it won't carry the multiple VLAN tags in the
Exactly.
same port.
Right.
Okay, understood. Thank
And
you.
that's why if you have this kind of topology, right? In that case, you don't need to make this guy a trunk, right? Because one interface can carry that VLAN 10, while another interface can carry the VLAN 20. That's fine. Interface 0/0, gig 0/0. What we have to do is we just need to make a notion now. That's all. Just make a physical interface up. That's all. After that, what do you have to do that? Interface gig 0/0. I'm going to split this interface dot 10. Dot 10, why I'm using the dot 10? Because of the VLAN number 10. Encapsulation dot 1Q. I need to add the tagging protocol so that I can identify this packet is coming for the VLAN number 10 or 20. VLAN number 10. They give the IP address 100. That's all. Then no need to put the no shutdown command over there. Interface gig 0/0.20. What? Encapsulation dot 1Q 20. IP address will be what? 2.100. That's all. Do show IP interface brief. This interface doesn't have IP address, but it's up. And this interface has a IP address. Make sure that if this interface goes down or something happened on this particular interface, everything goes down. So he's like your daddy. And these are my son 1 and son 2. So daddy must be there. So now if you're gonna send the traffic, right? If you see do show IP route, I have a routing table now. The routing table is similar to the MAC address table. Don't worry about that. We'll discuss this thing. But yeah, it's similar to the MAC address table. I have a 1.0/24 subnet, which is gig 0/0.10. Another we have .20. And now if I'm gonna send the traffic, right? I can. First I'll ping this guy 192.168. What? 1 or 2 is working in the same VLAN. Let's ping the default gateway. That's very important one. That's how you can troubleshoot the VLAN. Always ping the default gateway first before pinging the different VLAN. I do have a utility till the default gateway. Let's do the PC3. Want the PC3 and ping to whom? The PC4 first of all. 2.1. Sorry, 2.1 is mine itself. 2.2. I do have a utility between this guy to this guy. What I can do that now, I'll just gonna ping the default gateway 2.100. It's working. Now let's ping from the PC1 to the PC3. Okay, you can also ping the 2.100. That's another default gateway. I do have utility. So from this PC, now I do have a utility of the default gateway of another VLAN. So of course, you must have utility of the PC2. Have you done anything new? Nothing. What I did, I just went to the interface, right? Let me tell you. Okay, let me add this configuration over here, right? On a switch, let me decrease the size. I don't have a space, so I want to make all these things over here. Switch one, interface gig 0/0, right? Or fast 0/0, I can say that. It's a switch port mode run, right? And on the router side, I did the interface gig 0/0.10 in cap, no shutdown, sorry, no shutdown, interface gig 0/0.10 encapsulation .1Q VLAN over 10 IP address. Same thing. Let me hold on, let me remove this guy. I can put it over here. This is my VLAN data table. Right? I can put another configuration like this way. Router one. Okay. VLAN 20 and 2 router. That's all.
Sorry, my audio got disconnected for a few seconds. So we don't have to configure the encapsulation on the trunk port?
Why you need to configure the trunk port? Trunk port is going to carry all the VLAN traffic.
Okay, okay.
That's going to carry, eventually they'll carry all the VLAN traffic. You see in the switch. So interface trunk.
Okay.
It's showing the 01005 because of the standard VLAN.
Understood. Okay.
Standard is going to 4090.
I have one doubt actually.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Fred.
yeah. Actually, in router, we are connecting to different networks. There is no routing there. I mean, any
Is
static
there
or
routing? Is there routing? Is there?
no, no, no. We need to enter or it will automatically. That's what I'm asking.
Oh, you. I got it. I got you. I got you. I got your point. You are saying that IP routing keyword.
Yes.
So this is the router. This keyword you need to do on the layer 3 switch. This is the router right now. You see that?
Yeah, that's correct. That port will act as a route, even though it's a switch. That I can understand. But in router, there is no need to enter any static or dynamic
Nothing. Why you need to
routing.
put that? Because they both are directly connected right now. Why you need to put the routing over there? There's no need to put the routing. Both are directly connected.
Okay.
Oh,
If the
that's
route is
actually
not, if the route is not there, then you need to do the routing. For example,
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. If we connect to different network, I mean, in a different way. Yeah, this
so
time,
yeah,
yeah, this is
in
what I'm
that case,
asking.
you need to do the routing. Yeah, of course. So for example, you have a PC over there, and this is a part of the VLAN number 30. So on the in that case, on a router number 1, you need to do the routing for this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy.
That's what I'm asking because when we connect the different router, we must enable, I mean, enter the routing any of the protocols. But
That's
in a single router, no need to enter because it
no, because
automatically take because both are in a single router, so it will easily understand.
right.
It's correct?
Yes, right. What is the purpose of adding the VLAN number ID in caption to identify the tagging? To identify the tagging. So how does this router is going to identify which packet is coming from which VLAN? So this is how you can do the what we call enter VLAN routing on the router side, or this mechanism is called the router on a stick. Router.
okay. Well, thank you for to the gentleman who actually just asked the question a minute ago. That was actually a very important point in understanding. So also because these are sub interfaces, so again, just a quick question: if we do trace it out, then each IP will be obviously another hop, right?
Yeah. So only
Even though
one
it's
hop you will see that because only
okay.
one hop means what? One router. So right now you have only one router.
No, so no, but I'm saying, let's say, 1.100 and 2.100, would they be two different hops or no?
No, it's in the single hop. Same router side.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, both
Router
are in
will
the
be
different
counted as
broadcast
a
domain.
hop, right?
Sorry?
No,
router will be considered, I mean, count as a hop.
Exactly.
different
Router is
router.
counted. I mentioned that router is counted as a hop. One hop, one router. Understood?
Yeah, okay. I thought when we do the trace out, it goes by each
No,
IP
no.
address as a hop. Maybe I'm mixing up things.
No, you are mixing. Wait for some time. Wait for the routing. Your concept will be clear over there.
Oh no. I was just like
I
thinking in
understand.
terms of hops. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, I should. Yeah. Okay, I have a now this two. I just have a two routers. That's fine. I can make this guy the VLAN 10 and 20. So now I don't have a router now. I have a layer 3 switch. How can I do the routing over there now? I just have a layer 3 switch now. I don't have a router over there. So why? So basically your switch, if you remember that I told you that, right? Your switch could be the layer 2 and layer 3 as well, right? A switch could be the layer 2 and layer 3. A layer 2 switch only handle the only handle the what? Only handle the layer 2 traffic, which is MAC address. A layer 3 switch can handle the layer 2 and layer 3 traffic. It means that they can understand the IP and MAC both. They can understand the MAC and IP both. Now, why? Why should I go with the layer 3, not to the layer 2? To just save the cost. To just save the cost. Okay, it doesn't mean that you don't need to purchase the router. Okay, you have to purchase the router. Because this layer 3 switch doesn't support the each features of the routing. Understood? Like a high level feature, like a what we call the IPsec VPN, and if you go with the MPLS part and those things. Yeah, basic routing, they can do that. So it doesn't mean that you don't need to purchase the switch, sorry, router. You have to purchase the router for the high level stuff. But yeah, the layer 3
Can
switch
they
can
do
do that.
OSPF and DIGRP?
Yes, buddy, you can do that, Boozer.
Okay, thank you.
So you can do the basic routing over there. So
But
what you
in
do,
that case, if my network, if that layer 3 switch takes care of the layer 3 part of my network, in that case, I
yeah,
don't need to, right?
they can do that. Yeah, they can do that.
Okay.
So the basic routing you can achieve. That's why I mentioned basic routing, not the advanced level of routing. So let's do one thing. What I can do that on the switch. Let me see. Let me wipe the configuration because I don't know what's configuration is there or not. But your layer 3 switch, is by default treats like a layer 2. Your layer 3 switch by default behave like a layer 2. So you need to convert the layer 3 switch into the layer 3. Basically, it's behave like a layer 2. You have to convert it. And to convert it, if you guys remember that, right? Not to you guys, or I don't know. So maybe in the different batch. So to convert layer 3 switch into routing, you need to add one more command. Command is called the IP routing. This command enable unicast and routing on a switch, or we can call it this command also and router as well as. So this I'm just putting in the down, but on the router as well as. By default, this feature is enabled on router side, but not on switch. Guys, please pay attention. This feature is by default enabled on the router side, but not on the switch. So I have made the one video for this one. Okay, let me show you that. You can just watch it. Okay, if you get some time, just a 10 minutes of video, right? I explained that those things. Okay. So this is the where is that routing table. So this is the video that I made it, right? So here I have explained the meaning of this command line IP routing. Please watch it. I put the link in the chat and you can watch this one. It's very helpful. It will tell you how does a router build a routing table. How does a router build a routing table? Now, let's come back over here. So you need to enable this routing keyboard on the switch side, but this command is by default enabled on the router side. So let's go on the router one. First of all, let me give the IP addresses on the router side. No. No. Switch as well. No. Meantime, I can do one thing. Just Mhm. Okay, that's great. So let's define the IP address on the router side. Config and host name will be R1. Interface each use class IP address will be 1.1.1.1. Or mix 1.192.1.1/24 and no shutdown. What I have to do right now, no IP routing, because I need to make this router as a PC. I have to disable the routing behavior. I have to make a default, it is what? 100. Perfect. Same thing on the router 2 now. Okay, let me put this command in the notepad so you can understand this way. So in the router 1, you need to convert this PC. So what you have to do that, you just need to disable the no IP routing. By default, this feature is enabled. Under the interface, you need to go and say that IP address will be right, no shutdown. And we need to give the default gateway. Exit IP default gateway. Copy and paste. Same way, I'm so sorry. Same way you need to do on the router number 2 now. Router 2, we have our same thing. IP address will be 1 or 2 now. Sorry, 2.1. That's router number 2. And this guy should be 2.100. That's all right. Config command host name will be R2. Host name will be R2. Right. And let's copy and paste it. Now what I have to do on switch side? On a switch side, first of all, I need to get the VLAN, right? So let me do the configuration on the notepad. On a switch side, you need to do the VLAN number 10, VLAN number 20, that's all. Interface in 0/0. Switch port access VLAN number 10. Interface 0/1, switch port access VLAN number 10. Sorry, 20. Switch 1. Again, guys, it's a very basic stuff that we are doing right now. We have already done the lots of lab of the VLAN. Right? Nothing is the extra part over here. Now, what I told you that by default, your layer 3 switch is behave like a switching, not the routing. Right? Not the routing. Now, your interfaces of the switches is also behave like on a layer 3 switch, right? On a layer 3 switch, all the interface behave like a layer 2. All the interface of the layer 3 behave like a layer 2. On a layer 2, can I give the IP address? No, you can't give the IP address on the layer 2. You cannot give the IP address on the layer 2. So to avoid this problem, right? To avoid this problem, we came with the concept is called as SVI, switch virtual interface. Because I need to, because this guy has IP address is what, 192.168.1.1. This has the IP address. And the default gateway that I set for this guy is 192.168.1.100. What I give the default gateway now? Same way the IP address of this guy is 191.2.2.1. And this guy's default gateway is what? 2.100. So where should I give this IP now? This default gateway IP on the switch side. I need to give the SBI. SBI stands for switch virtual interface. Guys, it's a virtual interface, not the physical interface. There's no hardware over there in this SBI. This SBI is associated with the VLAN. This SBI is associated with the VLAN. So if I'm gonna make a interface, right? If I'm gonna make an interface VLAN number 10, this is called as the SBI. And now on this SBI, I'm gonna give the IP address, right? This VLAN 10 must be present in your database table. That's how you say that associate with the VLAN. So this SBI associated with the VLAN. This is how the cycle is going on. From here to here. So if you don't have a VLAN of that particular VLAN, your SBI will be never up. It will be in the down state. It will be in the down state. So let me do one thing. What I can do that, it's a virtual interface. I just need to go on the switch one. As the interface VLAN number, what? 10. I have VLAN 10, it's up right now. Okay, IP address is what? 1s to 100. And done. No shutdown. Interface VLAN number 20. That's the second SPI that I have. IP address will be 200. No shutdown. One and last, we need to enable the routing. Why? If you see the do show IP root, it's there. I thought it's we need to enable it. And some switches we need to enable this command, guys, IP routing. So now if you're gonna ping, have a look. If you see the do show VLAN brief, have VLAN 10 and 20, that's associated with the port right now. And if you see the do show IP interface brief, I have a SBI is on. If you see the do show interface VLAN number 10, have a look. What you can see that is up right now. What's the IP address for this guy? This person. Same thing if you see the VLAN number 20 now. Switch virtual interface SVI and the IP address is 200. So now if you're gonna ping, what first ping the default gateway 100. It's working. Let's ping the another default gateway from the Rado 1 to the VLAN 20 default gateway. It's working. Ping the another guy now. So this is for the VLAN number 10. Sorry. This is for the VLAN 10 and this is for the VLAN number 20. Why the ping is not working, man? We got one. Let's send the packet from here. 200. It's working. How about the 100? I lost my connectivity, man.
Gateway on the switch. Just a thought.
Sorry, I'm sorry. So I got disconnected. So now, so here I have, right? So I was able to ping from the router 2 to my default gateway and another default gateway as well, but I'm not able to ping the 101. I think that the reason is we need to enable the routing message over the packet. IP routing should be, yeah, I need to enable the routing. I thought like, there are two so IP route. We don't need to put that command over there because the meaning of this command is what your routing must be there. So now it's a ping. Still not. No.
But does the switch know that? And
Yeah.
again, this is just a
No.
question.
It's no.
That it has the route between 1.1 and 2.1.
It has.
Okay. Okay.
It has.
Okay. Now, because I was wondering if we need to like do a static route or something.
Should be. Why it's not working, man? Let me try this thing on my packet tracer. This is fine, not on the side. And only through switch. Someone else. Master, can we IP default man? Can we IP? I did that. It did that.
Okay, sir.
It's- okay. Perfect. Oh no. Something. When first one we system. See on this guy, if I put the command show IP routing, it was not showing the routing table. So some switches doesn't have a routing name. I did enable it. Show IP routing. Now I have it out. Let's bring it. What we call 100. That's my default gateway. Oh. That. Now thank you. as well. For the default gateway, I will 2.100, that's another default gateway. It's working fine. How about the well, bingo. Okay, so it's working fine right now here, man. So same configuration I did is just in the IP routing, everything is working fine. Okay, guys, any questions anybody has?
So in the web OU, again, this is just for understanding of this lab.
Yeah.
Do we know what happened, or
Yeah,
like
let me check it what happened now. Let me
are the interfaces or up?
so let me check it what's happening. So IP interface brief. I have a VLAN 10 and 20 is perfect fine. So VLAN brief right now. We have a 0/0 in the VLAN 10, 0/1 in the VLAN 20. Now the router side now. Go to the router side. To show IP interface brief. 2.1 I have configured. To show IP root. Have a default gateway. It's just give me 1 minute. There's lots of lapping is going on. Okay, and 2.100 is given over there. 2.100, so we able to ping, right? So I'm able to ping the 2.100, even the 1.100 I'm able to ping, right? But why not 1.1? The region we have.
You think maybe doing a trace route is gonna help?
No, that's not. So I can remove. Show IP remove. One I'm still right. Because I'm able to ping the different subnet as well. I'm able to ping the 2.100, that's a different subnet, but I'm not able to ping 2.1. Interface 0/0. Interface 0/0 shutdown. No shutdown.
Sir, is there a SCL apply or not, sir?
वाह गजब कहाँ से खोजे ये एसी
नहीं,
आया कैसे दिमाग में बताओ
Excuse me.
thing when I was here 1 or 2 1. I don't know what's the reason, but configuration is fine, right? Same configuration we did on the Cisco packet tracer, but it's not working on the Wi-Fi, right? I will check it and let you know, guys. Don't worry. Do try on the EVNG tool. It's gonna work over there. Okay. I don't know why it's not working on the side. Maybe this switch doesn't support the intermittent routing. Might be. I'm not pretty sure again. I haven't tried IBR on the Wi-Fi, never. So I'm teaching the IBR almost out of the 3 years. So I never tried the IBR on the switch.
So can I ask you a quick question if it's doesn't take too much time?
No. Go ahead, please.
And again, maybe I'm thinking in the wrong direction. So
No,
what
no,
if, and just to try it out, what do you think would happen if we do like a manual, like a static command, like network? I don't recall the command, but a
that's
static
not
route between the two networks.
okay. Question to you. How you will get the static route on this router right on the switch right now? What next stop you're gonna put it? You normally give the static route when you don't have a subnet in your routing table. I have a
No,
subnet in it.
that's why I said I don't know if I'm thinking in the
Yeah.
right direction. It was
It's
just a
not a
thought.
right direction. It's not a right direction.
Okay.
Okay. That's all for the VLAN. One small topic was from the Nasir side. Okay, so Nasir had one question about the. Remember, I gave the question about the pruning, right? Someone has put the. Okay, before someone has put the question in the group about the identifier, right? VLAN identifier. So I gave the answer lower interface SBI, right? Not the IP addresses. Lower SBI interface, not the IP address. So for example, if you have an interface VLAN number 10, take example, I said the IP address will be 200.200.200, right? dot 200 and slash 24. No shutdown. Interface VLAN number 20. Right? IP address will be what? Not 20. I'll say that 5. I'll make it 20 as well. That's fine. IP address will be, I say that 10 or 10 or 10 or 10, 10, right? So what do you think? Who will become the VLAN identifier? BTP VLAN identifier. Who will become? Tell me. Who was the question? Who was the guy who asked the question to the group?
Sir, I
The
did not
VLAN
ask
10.
this.
VLAN 10, why?
No lower first configuration. I don't know.
No, because of the lower SBI number. So if you want to verify it, you can do it. Let me show you that. Just ID routing. And it's the BTP domain name CCA. Right. Doesn't have a big deal, man. Do show BTP status. Okay. And I don't have any identifier right now. Let's do that. Already he took the identifier as a 100 because already I have a 1 SBI, right? For this guy. Let me do it for you guys. Hold on. I quickly configure on the another one. Okay, I'll pick the BTP, right? Supposed to have small. I think so. I did this practical on the BTP, if you guys remember that. And normally I don't skip the topic. I did
Yes,
this.
you have done this
Yeah, I
Michelle.
did it.
lab on a VTP.
Yeah, I did it. I know. Let me show you again back. Don't worry.
I even forgot my question.
One minute, 1 minute. Let me finish this one and you can ask
It's
the
been a while.
BTP status. So we don't have any identifier right now. Do so VLAN brief. I have multiple VLANs. That's not a big deal. So I did the 2 VLANs right now. If you see the do show BTP status, right? Come on, show me the identifier now. Do show IP interface brief. It's down, man. Switch port mode trunk. Switch port trunk encapsulation. You know why it's down right now? Because this VLAN 10 is not associated with any interface. Simply I can make a trunk, right? So they will part of the VLAN number 10. So now it will be up. Come on. Come on, man. It's up now. You see that? Who's the lower one? Is 200, right? See? 200. Understood? Question, guys? Anybody has?
Just the same thing I was asking about yesterday about the simulator web IOU. This is all good.
Let me first explain your question. So I think we have done with this question. So your question was the trunk allowed, right? Something called allowed VLAN. If I'm remembering right, you send me the message about this guy, this command trunk allowed VLAN. So basically, if you guys remember that I gave you the one thing, right? BTP pruning. Is it good thing to enable the BTP pruning in the network or not? No, it's not a good thing. It's a bad thing.
Okay.
Dynamically, it's not a recommendation to, again, not recommendation. If you want, you can enable it. That's not a big deal. People are doing the many things in the production, many things. Even they don't have any idea. So you can enable the pruning. That's not a big deal. But it's not recommendation to that. What it's recommendation to that, you have to manually filter the VLAN.
Sure.
on a trunk interface. How you can do that? You just need to go take example right now. If you see the do show interface trunk, right? Take example. I have these VLANs are all allowed. Everything is allowed right now. Every single thing is allowed. Is it a good thing or bad thing? Take example.
No, it's not question.
We just did the lab of the router mistake, right? So where we have a router over there, we have a switch over there, and PCs, VLAN number 10, VLAN number 10, VLAN number 20, and VLAN number 20, right? And VLAN number 10. If I'm gonna make this guy as a trunk interface, then what happened? By default, it's gonna allow everything. All the VLANs is gonna allow it. So I don't wanna make allow all the VLAN over there, because I don't have a requirement to allow the VLAN over there. Take example, if I'm gonna allow all the VLAN, what happened in that case? Understood this concept right now? If there's a PC and this is the PC, that's part of the VLAN number 1 and VLAN number 1, not VLAN number, take example of the VLAN number 30 right now, right? And if this interface is a trunk, this interface is going to carry all the VLAN right now. So if this guy is going to make a broadcast traffic, try to understand, guys, if this guy is going to make a broadcast traffic, then what happened? It will be listened by this person, but at the same time, it will be listened by this person as well. Of course, right, the router is not going to forward the same broadcast traffic in the different broadcast domain. It's not going to forward it because of the different broadcast domain. But eventually, this interface is going to carry the broadcast traffic, wastage of bandwidth. I don't have any user over there, man. Why should I send the broadcast traffic on the trunk interface? So in that case, you can do one thing. You can filter out the VLAN. You can say that, hey, I'm only going to allow the VLAN number 10 and 20 traffic over there, not the 30 over there. So if I'm not going to send the 30 traffic over there, then what happens? If I'm going to make a broadcasting, it will only receive by the PC2. It will not go on the trunk interface. No wastage of bandwidth. So that's how you need to do the manually configuration. What you need to do that, if you see right now on this particular interface, because I'm assuming that there is no VLAN 30 user are sitting over there, right? So they have a VLAN number 10 and 20 only. Understand this concept. They have a VLAN number 10 and 20 only, and anything else. So consider I have a 10 and 20 only on the switch 2 and switch 3 side. So why should I'm gonna allow all the VLAN right now, all the VLAN over there? Why should I allow? I'm just gonna filter it out. How do I do that? I just need to go on the interface. Switch port trunk allowed VLAN, what, 10, 20. That's done. Instead of allowing everything, I'm allowing what now? I can save the lots of bandwidth, man. There's no need to send the extra packets if they don't have any VLAN. You tell me one thing. You have a PC number 10 for the VLAN number 10. You have a PC number 20, VLAN number 20. That's fine. You are allowing the 10 and 20 over there. You have a PC3 over there. That's part of the VLAN number 30. You have a PC over there, VLAN number 40. But these PCs, the VLAN 30 and 40 is not there on the switch 2 and not there in the switch 3. Do I need to allow the VLAN 30 over there? Do I need to allow the VLAN 40 over there? No need to allow the VLAN 30 and 40. You can just filter out the VLAN on the trunk interface. That's another way to improve the security in your network. Nazi, that's your question, right? If I'm not forget, you send me the answer of this switch port trunk allowed VLAN. Hello?
Yes, sir.
So guys,
Can
here,
you please, you mind to repeat again for this last bit?
yeah, what I'm
Appreciate that.
saying that over here, try to understand. I have a VLAN 10 over user. I have a VLAN 20 user on the switch 2. I have a VLAN 10 and 20 user on the switch 3 as well. I have a VLAN 10 and 20 user on the switch 1 as well. 30 and 40 also there on the switch 1, but 30 and 40 is not there on the switch 2 and not there on the switch 3 as well. So do I need
Right.
to allow the 30 and 40 over there? No.
Because they are not configured on switch 2 and switch 3.
Yeah. It's not necessary to allow the 30 and 40 over there. Take example, if I'm going to allow the 30 and 40, understood what happened? If I'm going to generate the broadcast traffic from here, what happened? It will be listened by the switch 1, and what he will do that? He said that, hey, 30 and 40 allow on this port as well. He will send the broadcast traffic over there. What
This will
switch
be
2 will do
flooding,
that?
right?
He will send the broadcast traffic over there. Do I have any user over here? No.
No.
What happened? It's a wastage of bandwidth. Understood?
Right.
Wastage of
That's
bandwidth,
why
wastage of bandwidth, wastage of CPU, right? Congestion will happen in your network. Lots of things gonna happen.
but that should come under the ACL, right? I mean, just a pruning.
Without ACL, you can achieve this thing.
Sorry,
Without ACL, you can achieve this thing.
you
With
can
the help-
achieve.
With the help of this command.
Switch port trunk allowed, but this is a ACL. This is ACL, right?
This is
Allowed.
not a ACL. This is just a simple command. By default,
Okay.
trunk port allow all the VLAN. I filter it out.
Yes.
I say that, hey, you
Yeah.
only allow the 10 and 20. Now,
Yeah, in VTP protocol as a server, you can add, delete, filter,
yeah,
edit, whatever.
that's this command. You asked me this command on the WhatsApp. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's okay. I think I understood the question late stage when after sending the message on WhatsApp.
Yeah, you send me. You send me the command. No negotiate. Then yeah.
Yeah, but then I found it. Then I found the
Oh, you
solution
found
after
it?
that.
Oh, that's great, man.
That's what I'm saying. I haven't forgot the question. I found the solution after
No,
that.
normally I remember each questions, right? So yeah, depend on the time. So I explain that one.
No, I found the solution. I think I sent you the message as well after that. I fixed it.
Oh, that's great, man. So that's
Yeah.
how I'm done for
Appreciate
the
it.
VLAN, guys. If you have any questions from the VLAN, you can ask me now.
No, VLAN is done. It's perfect. You explained
Yeah,
very
I
well.
have one question actually.
Yes, please go ahead.
When you teach the SVI, I had a doubt. What's the difference between IP routing and no switch port?
Oh, that's great questions. So basically in a IP routing, what happened? You are enabling the routing behavior on the switch side. It means that you can enable the routing protocol. For example, let me explain you. If I say the router edge IP right now, have a look. Okay, 1 minute. Let me add the switch to right now. And show you that. Which IP route is here routing it's still the routing is enabled. Let me disable it. Now I say the no IP routing. And I said that now router AGRP, have a look. It's saying that, hey, you cannot enable any routing protocol over there because you need to enable the routing first. So if I'm going to enable the routing over there, and now if you see the do so IP route, I don't have a routing table right now. He's asking for the default gateway. So IP routing command, it's going to enable the routing behavior. IP routing command is going to enable the routing behavior on the layer 3 device. Layer 3 device could be anything. It could be the router, it could be the switches as well. Now you can check the router HRP. I'm going to put the command. It's working fine. If I say the do show IP route, I have a routing keyboard right now. That's the meaning of enabling the routing in the router side. It's only going to enable the unicast routing behavior over there, not the multicast. If you put the command do show IP multicast is still disabled. So IP routing command only gonna enable the unicast routing behavior on the layer 3 device. It could be the switch or it could be the router. And then you can enable the route anything EIGRP as well. But if I'm gonna say that interface 0/0, if you see the put the command IP address, see it's not taking right now. I'm putting the tab keyword, it's not taking it. The reason is that this interface Ethernet 0/0, it's a layer 2 interface. If you see the do so interface switch port, he's saying that, hey, my switch port is enabled. It means that this is the layer 2 interface. On this layer 2 interface, you cannot give the IP address. So what you can do that, if you want to make this guy as a layer 3, you need to say that no switch port. If I say the no switch port, now I put the same command, what happened? Switch port is disabled now. It means that layer 2 port is disabled. Layer 2 behavior is disabled. Right? So all this configuration previously was there. Now it's not there. Now I can put the IP addresses. It's working. Understood?
If you don't mind, can you repeat it?
Okay. got it.
quite confusing. Yeah, don't mind me.
Yeah, no, not a big deal. So basically your switch port is enabled, right, on this particular interface. It means that it's a layer 2 interface, right?
No, what I'm asking is these switches are layer 2 or layer 3?
It's a layer 3. By default,
all
your all interfaces on the layer 3 switches, by default, all your interfaces behave like a layer 2. On a layer 3 switch, by default, your interfaces behave like a layer 2. You need to convert this layer 2 port into the layer 3 based on the requirement. So if you want to convert this layer 2 port, for example, this is the 0/0. If you convert, this is right now layer 2. And if you convert this guy as a layer 3, then what you have to do that you need to put the command no switch port. No switch port means what? I'm saying that, hey, this port is no more the layer 2. Now you can give the IP address over there.
then what about in layer 2 switches? We can directly assign the IP to the
Can you assign
interfaces,
the,
right?
Can you assign the IP address to the layer 2 ports?
No, I'm just asking.
No, you cannot assign it. I just shown you that. If you see, I was trying to assign the IP addresses, so I'm not taking the command line. Then what I did, I just disabled the switch port. And now after that, if I'm trying to assign, it's taking the IP address. On the layer 2 ports, you cannot do that. Let me show you over here. So in this interface, right, this is the layer 2 interface right now. Okay, it means that switch port is enabled. Switch port is enabled by default. You cannot give the IP address. IP address command will not take it. Right? So what you have to do that, you need to go under the interface and say that no switch port. If I say the no switch port, it means that what? I'm disabling the switch port now. Right? And now after that, I can give the IP address. So if you want to give the IP address on the layer 3 switch, if you want to give the IP address on the layer 3 switch, right, you need to first disable the switch port behavior. You need to make that interface as a layer 3. Now, after doing this thing, now my interface is a layer 3 interface. And now I can give the IP address to the 1.1.1.1. Understood? Which method is most preferred for the IBM? Okay, so it's depend. If you have a layer 3 switch in your network, then you can go with this example that I gave you. This one, if you have a layer 3 switch in your network. And if you have a router, if you have a layer 2 switch in your network, and if you have a router, then you can go with the router and a stick. That's this one. It's depend on the requirement, how your network is. The 3 ways we have. The first way we have shown that multiple interface you can do that. That's not a recommendation. So people are not using this thing. So either you can find this one or either you can find this one. The third method is not a popular. Nobody is using it. It's a waste of money. You got the point, switch port, guys. Someone has asked the question.
Yeah, got it.
Firoz, what I can suggest you, I just put the YouTube link, right? Just go and watch this IP. Your IP routing concept will be clear over there. The meaning of IP routing keyword, your concept will be clear over there if you not understand over here.
Sure, definitely.
Okay, great.
Sure.
Anyone else? Any question, guys, in the VLAN?
No, that's it. So, I mean, this lab can be done on a packet tracer.
Yeah, this
So
lab
what
can be
about,
done on the packages.
yeah, so for any labs which cannot be done on a packet tracer, so what is the alternative solution for that? So us just
So you need to go with this topology.
no, that will be done, I'm sure, on the packet tracer.
Okay.
So I was saying, what I was trying to say that if we can have the web
He is asking for
IOU.
any other
Web, you are
simulator.
looking for the web. Let me share the web IU guys to you.